Welcome to the AI Fin News channel. The most relevant news and analysis from the world of finance and cryptocurrencies.
Greetings, friends, and welcome to AI Fin News. Today, I'll be covering the latest events in the market, including movements in Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market as a whole. We'll also discuss the current situation with oil, the US dollar index and its impact on the S&P 500, as well as the potential government shutdown in the US and the impeachment procedure against President Biden. First, I'd like to focus on the recent remarks by the head of the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, and the subsequent events related to Ethereum, where the deadlines for some applications were extended. Henry, the SEC chairman, was asked, "Is Bitcoin a security or a commodity?" He responded that it's not a security but couldn't give a definitive answer on whether Bitcoin should be considered a commodity. Henry also expressed his concerns about the pressure on the digital asset ecosystem and its impact on American citizens. During his speech, there were many questions, including accounting treatments of crypto assets and progress in regulation. Gensler faced tough questions, and even Democrats were not holding back. Overall, the speech was tense, and Gensler, despite some praise, is likely to face challenges in the future. It's also worth noting that preparations are being made for a possible U.S. government shutdown next week. This will lead to a reduction in agency staffing by over 90%, with top leadership working in a limited capacity. As for Biden, a government shutdown doesn't carry an immediate financial shock like a U.S. government debt default, and the country has experienced many such situations before. However, credit rating agencies may start downgrading ratings, and amidst all this, there may be sharp statements and political accusations. Perhaps this time the cryptocurrency industry will get some breathing room. However, there's another issue I want to draw your attention to. It's the situation with the potential government shutdown. Sometimes, things that seem miraculous happen. Sometimes, we expect that something won't happen, but then it does. Perhaps something similar will occur this time. A last-minute deal that could prevent the government shutdown is unlikely. According to Bloomberg, the government shutdown will begin on October 1st. However, this event can be seen as a repetition of previous cases, and there may be a chance to find a way out of the situation. As for President Biden, a government shutdown won't result in immediate financial turmoil, as was the case with the unprecedented U.S. government debt default. The U.S. has experienced many such shutdowns, and while there were disruptions in government services and the payment of federal employees was halted, the economic damage was minimal. However, credit rating agencies may start downgrading ratings, as warned by Moody's. It's worth noting that Republicans plan to hold the first hearing on the impeachment case against Joe Biden. According to a representative of the House Oversight Committee, hearings scheduled for September 28 will focus on constitutional and legal issues related to allegations of Biden's involvement in his son Hunter's foreign business. The White House has called this an attempt by Republicans to engage in extreme politics during the presidential campaign. It's worth recalling that during previous elections, Biden was accused of wrongdoing. We may hear strong statements and further developments in this situation. Perhaps even some sensational documents may surface. After all, the most interesting politics always brings unexpected moments. By the way, such hearings can naturally influence the markets, although not always positively. But it's possible that this session will turn out to be dull, and the markets, on the contrary, will rise. So, it's worth keeping an eye on these events. If we go in chronological order, rather than by significance, some are saying that there may be a record divergence between gross domestic product, GDP, and gross national income. It's forecasted that today the U.S. economy will experience a mild shock with new data suggesting a sharp decline. However, once again, this is analysts' opinion, and it's something to watch for. Moreover, according to the forecast, GDP is expected to grow. Of course, the highlight of today will be the speech by the head of the Federal Reserve. Unfortunately, according to my time, it will be late at night, so I'll share the highlights in tomorrow's video. But he might say something new compared to what he said a week ago. Perhaps something about the government shutdown. He may not say anything significant, but if you have the opportunity to follow it, be sure to do so. If not, it's doubtful that it will make a significant impression on the market. Although, who knows? If I had the opportunity, I would certainly watch it. But I don't want to set an alarm specifically for this speech. I watch as I can. As for oil, the dollar index, and other economic factors, we'll discuss them in the second video. In conclusion, I'd like to share Bloomberg's view on the current situation in the crypto market. They say that the growing prospects of a U.S. government shutdown could trigger a rise in Bitcoin, similar to what happened in response to the crisis of regional banks earlier this year. Supporters of this idea believe that Bitcoin can serve as a protective hedge in times of banking turbulence. It will be very interesting to see whether the market buys Bitcoin during various periods of economic and financial uncertainty in the U.S. or only during banking crises, as it was in the beginning of the year. Back then, Bitcoin jumped 25% in a month in March when 3 American banks collapsed within 5 days. For analysis, I use data from CoinShares analysts. James Butterfield stated that a U.S. government shutdown will inevitably lead to a rise in the price of Bitcoin. He claims that the shutdown is expected to put pressure on the dollar, especially after its recent strengthening, while simultaneously having a significant impact on economic growth in the fourth quarter. In some aspects, this scenario resembles the deadlock situation with the debt ceiling earlier this year, which ultimately led to price increases, including Bitcoin. However, he notes that compared to the previous year, there is relatively limited media coverage and discussion of the impact of a shutdown on the price of Bitcoin. This suggests a calmer state of the market. A small additional point from the Bloomberg article. Some may view this article skeptically. However, it's important to note one observation. Bitcoin has hardly changed over the past few weeks, despite the sharp rise in the VIX index, the decline in assets, the movement of gold prices to the south, and the swift rise in yields. From a diversification perspective, this is a very positive factor, especially considering a significant downturn, such as the S&P 500 index. Another undeniable fact is that Bitcoin has long remained close to the 50 mark on the Fear and Greed Index. It is in the neutral zone if the index is 47 and above, and in a state of fear if the index drops below this mark. However, a state of extreme fear has not been observed in the market for a long time, especially in the S&P 500 market. Today, this indicator shows 25, which corresponds to extreme fear based on the factors I mentioned today.
Please click on the bell so you don't miss out on new videos, because there will be more to come. Bye bye.